You may have heard talk of a potentially stormy weekend to come. More on that in a second. But before we get there, well, the weather's looking fairly unsettled as we go through this week. There's an area of low pressure pushing in as we go through the rest of Monday and into Tuesday, and a frontal system's going to edge into parts of the southwest as we go through Tuesday itself. But before then, well, actually, it's a largely fine start to the day for many of us. Some decent bright weather around, albeit a few pockets of mist and fog here and there, particularly towards the east. These will quite quickly clear, and then across many central and eastern parts, Tuesday's looking like a largely fine day. A few showers dotted around, more showers towards the west, and it's particularly in the southwest where we have some wetter weather. Some heavy showery rain feeding its way in, could be merging into some longer spells for a time, and also the risk of some thunder mixed in and blustery winds as well. Elsewhere, away from the cooler feeling, more unsettled southwest, it should feel relatively warm in any bright or sunny spells as temperatures quite widely get into the high teens or low 20s, and lighter winds towards the east. But later Tuesday into Wednesday, there's another system coming in from the west, and this time it's set to make more progress across the country, so more places going to see some wet weather as a result of this. And actually we get off to quite a cloudy start on Wednesday, a cloudier start than Tuesday for sure for many, and a few showery outbreaks of rain here and there. But it's later on as that front comes in that we're going to see some more persistent and at times quite heavy rain. In fact, across some southern parts of Scotland, particularly over higher ground, we could see some particularly high rainfall totals building up. We're talking 40, 50 millimetres perhaps through the day, and even elsewhere it is going to be quite cloudy, quite wet at times. Winds towards the west, the more persistent rain further east, a fair few showers. A greater chance of seeing some showers on Wednesday compared to Tuesday. With that in mind, more cloud, less sunshine on offer. Although temperatures don't look too dissimilar, it is going to feel fresher, especially when you factor in the strong winds, which will be particularly strong towards the northwest. Watch out, there could be some strong coastal gales, and even feeding up through the Irish Sea, some strong winds here. Low pressure then firmly in control as we go through the end of the week. That front does eventually make its way eastwards across the whole country as we go overnight Wednesday into Thursday, clearing away, still lingering perhaps across parts of Shetland first thing on Thursday morning. Otherwise, it's more of a showery picture as we go through Thursday. Plenty of showers piling in from the west because of that low pressure towards the northwest of us. And now these showers could be heavy. They could be thundery at times. They could have some hail mixed in with them. And yes, there will be some bright or sunny spells in between the showers, but all the time it's going to be quite blustery, especially towards the west, northwest, always the chance of some coastal gales, and so that's going to add to the fresher feel, and temperatures are gradually dropping as we go through this week, so starting to turn that little bit cooler for many of us. Actually, Friday's looking set to be quite a similar day to Thursday really, still heavily under the influence of low pressure towards the northwest of the UK, still relatively tightly packed isobars, indicating that we do have a blustery day yet again. We are going to see more showers coming in from the west. It's always across western parts that they will be most frequent. Here we have the greatest chance of some heavy, perhaps even thundery ones. As a result, if you get many of those heavy showers through both Thursday and Friday, well, some places could see 30 to 50 millimetres perhaps building up over the 2 days, particularly towards western areas. Further east, a fair few showers will arrive here, but they're just not going to be quite as frequent and not as intense. Always worth bearing in mind the showers by their very nature, they're hit and miss. So while some places will see some torrential downpours and could get a fair few of them, many places will actually avoid them and have a lot of dry, at times bright or sunny weather. Now notice temperatures are dropping down a little bit again, more likely just about to get into the very high teens on Friday, and still those blustery winds. So it is going to really be feeling cooler as we go into the weekend. But talking of the weekend, and I mentioned it at the start, let's look at what's happening the other side of the Atlantic. There's actually an area of low pressure that's developing, and it's as this low pressure pushes its way eastwards across the ocean and then starts to cross the jet stream. The jet stream is going to be the driving force for it making its way towards us. And latest model runs, as it comes towards the UK, it then crosses the jet stream and ends up on the left exit side. And it's this process that often leads to our low pressure centres deepening quite rapidly. And so it could be a particularly deep area of low pressure that's arriving as we go through into the weekend, well, more so the second half of the weekend. So what that means, well, Saturday at the moment could actually be a largely fine day. It's going to be perhaps a bit cooler than it has been through much of this week with that general trend of temperatures dropping down continuing, but there could actually be a good deal of fine weather at least to start the weekend. But if that deep low comes off and pushes its way in, well, then things are set to turn very wet and windy as well as we go into Sunday. Now, there are some question marks, some uncertainty as to exactly how deep it's going to be and the timing that it pushes through. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on for at the moment, but we will definitely be updating you nearer the time with regards to that. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.